Hi, hello. Thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you for having us.
So I understand that we have Kailen Rosenberg and Betsy Broyles Arnold here with us today.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Wonderful. Okay, so this question is for Kailen. It's a topic that is now on the minds of millions and has been making headlines lately. So with the aging of baby boomers comes a predicted increase in the rates of Alzheimer's patients in the coming years. And that means an increase in caregivers as well. So talk about the unconditional love it takes to care for someone with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, there are, I think 15 million at least caregivers right now, not including their families, that are really working with and loving on a loved one that has, that has Alzheimer's disease. And it's not an easy feat. It's one that really, as a loved one, we're not expecting. And primarily more so because there is a role reversal that takes over. We're used to being the child, even if we're an adult child, and having our parent be our parent, and it ends up switching in roles. And so it's very different from thinking of love as a romantic type of love with a spouse, or thinking of loving on your child. All of a sudden we're loving our parent now in a way where we're taking care of them from every bit of our being, every cell in our body. And at the same time, though, the unconditional love piece really means that we need to focus unconditionally on loving ourselves so that we can take care of ourselves and be present so that we can then in turn again be there for them.
That's good. Okay. So this question is for Betsy. Tell us your personal story about caring for your mom who's battling Alzheimer's.
Well, to be honest with you, it was probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life. We learned that you have to adapt, your life to the circumstances that are changing in your loved one's life. Just like what she touched on, the role reversal. It was very difficult for my mom when we were going through that aspect of it. When she would have an accident and we would have to change her, she would feel so guilty that we were having to do it. And we would say, Mom, this is, you've taken care of us all of your life, and now we're having an opportunity to take care of you. And if the situation were reversed, you would be doing it for us. So it allowed us to give her that gift back to her that she had given to us. And I love my mom. It was a labor of love, and that unconditional love that we're talking about is, we're here to celebrate caregivers all over the world, really, that are taking care of their loved ones day in and day out.
Right, okay. All right, great. So this question is for Kailen. You deal with a lot of different types of love relationships. How is a caregiver's unconditional love different from the love we're all familiar with?
Well, yeah, it's it's a heavy-duty love, and it's the type of love that we're not expecting to be in the position of giving, of going to. It's not a simple type of love. It takes every bit of our energy, every bit of who we are. It at times can almost feel exhausting for the loved one, or for the caretaker, I should say, or the caregiver. And so once again, I say, geez, it is just so absolutely necessary to go out and to get as much information as you can, to gain as much knowledge as you can, so that you have the power and the insight and the support to do everything that your heart wants to do. So it's an undescribable type of love, but unconditional, I think, is definitely the perfect word for it, and we need more of it, that is for sure.
That's definitely true. Definitely. All right, so this question is for Betsy. How did you cope and care with the changes happening when your mom's condition got more challenging over time?
Well, I think what we learned in our experience is that your attitude is your greatest asset. We always tried to look at taking care of my mother as a privilege, and so that made it positive. And the other thing is, I think it's important that you know your opponent, that you educate yourself. This is a disease that it's critical that you educate yourself on. So there's a wonderful website. It's called Alzheimer'sUnconditionalLove.com that you can go to and get all kind of resources that will help the caregiver and people who are learning about Alzheimer's disease. I think it's critical that you go to your family, physician and talk to them and let them help you through this process. And then we also wrote a book after my mom passed away. It's called Coach Broyles' Playbook for Alzheimer's Caregivers, and it's actually in 11 languages, and it helps caregivers understand the disease, the stages, and also how you care for someone with Alzheimer's.
Oh, great. Okay. And this also is for you, Betsy. What were the resources you used to help educate yourself about caregiving, and what can others learn from you if they have a loved one suffering from Alzheimer's?
Well, when we were taking care of my mother, there really weren't a lot of resources back then, so we learned through trial and error. And I think that's the important thing about this disease is everybody, even today, still learns through trial and error. And so I think the important thing is that you're not alone. And there are millions and millions of caregivers out there, and so you're fortunate today because you do have resources that you can go to, and you need to use them, especially the Alzheimer's unconditionallove.com website. It's phenomenal.
Great. Okay. All right. Great. So the last question is for Kailen.
Yes.
So part of your mission is to redesign the love and family lives of people everywhere. So what advice can you share about redefining the role of children caring for their parents or any loved one facing Alzheimer's?
Yes, thank you. We talk about it taking a village to raise a child, right? And we really, it's about our community. It's about learning to love on one another and the energy of love really worldwide. We need to start looking into, seeking to understand, being curious to see what is going on behind each person and the pain that they might be experiencing. Because when we get into talking about the role of the children, whether younger or adult, that is really the care provider for the person struggling with this disease, they feel very lost and very alone, and many times they just can get lost within the experience. And so once again, if we can all seek to love one another, love on each other, and then put that energy out into the world, I think that it can bring more peace to all of us, and hopefully make this a little bit easier for everyone that is involved, whether we are personally touched by it or not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you both for sharing your story, and I appreciate both of you joining me today for this very important discussion, and I wish you both the best of luck with everything.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
And bringing awareness to this disease.
Yes.
Thank you both so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.